So you sent over some videos. Did you manage to go through those?
No, sorry, I didn't.
Okay, no worries. Is there any reason why?
Yeah, I mean, I've been super busy. I'm working full time at the minute, and I'm caring for my mother as well. So
Hmm,
I did see the email. I just didn't get a chance to watch it. Sorry.
I understand. So you've come on this call. What do you know about us so far? You've been following us for a while, or you just come in now?
Um, yeah, so I've been following the content on Instagram. I can't remember how I came across you guys. I've been following a few accounts similar to yourself.
Hmm,
Um, yeah, just found you guys on Instagram. So just keeps popping up on my algorithm. I keep seeing it, and then eventually decided I want to. No, it might be worth me booking in a call just to see what it's all about.
hmm. And when you say you want to see what it's all about, what exactly you're looking to achieve?
Um, well, I think just where I'm at in my life, I want to be healthier, and I've tried going to the gym in the past. I've never stuck at it, so I don't know. I'm just looking for different options, I guess.
Okay, okay. And how much are you weighing right now?
How much am I weighing?
Yeah,
Um, maybe like 95, 93.
95. And what are you looking to get down to specifically, where you'd feel happy in yourself?
Um, I don't know, to be honest. Always been overweight, so I don't really know. I don't know what my target
Okay,
weight would.
okay. If you were to think about it and guess, what weight would you say?
I don't. I mean, you tell me. I don't know.
I don't know
Genuinely.
what your goals are. I don't know. You could want to be a bodybuilder. I mean, what do you want to get down to?
Well, I think my goals in terms of the weight, I don't know. I mean, my thing is it's just my confidence. Like
Hmm.
I've noticed a big thing in my confidence with my weight. So I don't know what weight I want to get down to. I just know that I need to lose some of it.
Okay, you said you are how much? 95 right now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, when you say you want to feel confident in yourself, what does that version of you look like? Can you see a six pack there? What do you look like when you get down to that place?
I guess so. I mean, I've never had a six pack, so I don't know. I just
Hmm.
know how I want to feel. I don't necessarily know. Like, yeah, I guess I want to have muscles, and I want to feel good.
Okay. If you were to really visualize and imagine, I know you said you've not been there before, but if you were to imagine this new version of yourself,
Mm,
where you are where you want to be, you're fit, you're healthy, and you feel confident.
mm.
What does that version of you actually look like?
I guess I've got a six pack.
Hmm.
I don't have man boobs anymore.
Yeah,
Um, I'm just toned. I look healthy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And if you had to guess, what weight would that version of you be around?
I don't know. Yes, you tell. I mean, I have no idea. I've tried the gym. I wasn't very good at it. Honestly, I don't know. I don't even know how much muscle weighs, let alone what I'd want to weigh. I mean, I could say 60. I don't like. Is that healthy? Is that bad?
60 is a big change. It's 35 kg drop. I
Okay.
can tell there's a lack of information here when it comes to what your weight would look like. That's
Yeah.
okay. As long as we got the visuals of where you want to be, there is going to be a loss in weight. And also, you're going to be put on muscle, so there's going to be a big change.
Hmm.
So to get to that point where you do drop that weight, it's going to be at least 15 kg, and you
Right.
start pulling on that muscle. You get that six pack. You got a tight chest. You can wear tight clothes. You look good.
Mm.
What have you been doing so far to actually get to that point?
Well, I've tried the gym a few times. Like I said, I mean, I've had gym memberships. I've gone for a couple of weeks at most. I mean, food wise, I've tried different diets and tried different things, but yeah.
Okay, when you say you've been trying to, you've been going to gyms, it's is it? Am I right in saying it's on and off? You don't stick to it consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is it?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. I guess I prioritize other things.
Such as?
Well, this thing with caring for my mum, that takes up a lot of my time. I've got a girlfriend as well, so spend a lot of time with her. Work, obviously, I'm working a lot. Um, yeah, I mean, just normal things.
Okay. When you're saying you're prioritizing all these things, taking care of your mum, working full time, managing a relationship, would you say there's a version of Truan that does all these things but also sets aside 30 minutes a day to make sure he can get the time in the gym as well?
Well, maybe, I guess so.
When you say maybe, I guess so. Like, honestly speaking, do you think there's a version of you out there that can do these things?
Yeah, well, yeah, probably. Um, yeah, it would just be figuring out how I do it.
Hmm. Figuring out how you do it, that can be taken care of. But in terms of actually being the guy that can set aside 30 minutes a day, can
Yeah,
we both agree that that version of you does actually exist? It's not outside the realms of possibility.
yeah. I mean, I could do it. Yeah.
Okay. So, and how long would you say you've been operating from this place of prioritizing other things and not actually being willing to make that 30 minutes a day? How long have you been doing that for?
I don't know. It's kind of on and off. Like I go through these stages where I'm super motivated and I want to get in the gym, and then life takes over, and then I stop. So I don't know. It's always been on and off.
When you say it's always been on and off, how long would you say it's been like this for?
Mm, 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we look back at this 4 years, what have you missed out on operating from this pattern of behavior where you come in, get motivated, but then life gets in the way, and then you don't find a way to make 30 minutes every single day? What have you missed out on the last 4 years?
Um, well, I don't know. It's weird because 1 minute I don't feel great about myself, and I know I should be getting in the gym. But then when life takes over, it doesn't really bother me that much. So, like even when I booked onto this call, I was in a mindset of, like I feel pretty shit. I need to do something about this. But then when life takes over, I don't even think about it. So I don't really know what I've missed out on, to be honest.
If you were to really think about it, if you were operating from a place of, yes, I'm the guy who deals with all these problems, takes care of his mother, manages his relationships, gets his work done, and also sets aside 30 minutes that you know you can do, you've admitted it yourself, and also sets aside 30 minutes to get the work in the gym.
Hmm.
If you did that for the last 4 years, where would you be right now?
I don't know. I'd probably be in better shape. Um,
When you say probably, is there any uncertainty if you know in regards to you probably be in better shape, or can we both agree you would be in better shape if you did that?
no, I would be. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I would be. Yeah, I'd be healthier. Probably more confident as well. Um, yeah.
Yeah. So if we flip that, you not operating from that place of being able to make the time,
Hmm.
what have you actually missed out on in the last 4 years?
Well, that.
Yeah. So if we flip that, it's like you're missing out now. You have a lack of confidence, you're feeling down, and you're not getting in the gym. So which one are you wanting to choose moving forward? Because you can carry on what you've been doing the last 4 years. We won't be
Yeah.
able to help you. No one will be, because ultimately life is gonna, as you said, it's gonna get you busy again, and you're not going to feel bothered about it. You'll be in the same pattern.
Mm.
So, if we're looking at these paths that you got, one path, carry on as you're doing the last 4 years. You got this same pattern of motivation. Life gets busy. You don't get anywhere. Or you can operate from a place of life happens, but I also happen to life. I'm going to make 30 minutes a day, and I actually feel confident about myself. Get a six pack. Wear the clothes I want to wear. Feel good about myself. So, which one do you want to choose here today?
Well, yeah, man. I want to get in good shape.
Yeah. So, I mean, which mindset would you like to choose here today?
Well, yeah, I need to do something. Yeah.
I know, but you've also you may have been thinking that for the last 4 years.
Mm.
If you keep on thinking like you have been doing the last 4 years, you're going to get the same results in the next 4 years. So, I mean, just it's up to you, mate. Which one would you rather choose? Your mindset that you've been using in the last 4 years, or this new mindset where you're willing to find 30 minutes a day no matter what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I need to find 30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you choose the second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Why would you choose this now?
Well, like I said, I mean, I want to be healthier. Yeah, more confident. I think confidence is probably the biggest thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, if I don't do anything, I'm not gonna. I'll just carry on how I am.
And are you willing to settle and actually let that happen moving forward?
Um, no.
Okay. When you said one of the main reasons is you just want to feel more confident. So what I'm hearing is you don't feel confident in your day-to-day life right now.
Um, Once again, up and down. Some days, yes. There's times when I don't. So
Okay.
yeah.
What are those times when you don't? What does that look like?
What do you mean?
So it goes up and it goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's times where you just don't feel confident in yourself, and it's linked to your physique.
Yep.
So what does that look like on a day-to-day basis? Where does it prop up?
I just feel crap. Like my confidence speaking to people. I've even noticed the way that I walk. I walk with my head down. So
Okay.
yeah, just don't
Confidence
feel good.
speaking to people. Does that affect how you can do your work as well?
I guess.
When you say you guess, is this something that genuinely gets in the way?
Um, I mean, I don't know. I've not really consciously thought about it like that. I
Okay.
just know sometimes I look in the mirror and yeah, I don't feel great.
Okay. It does sound like you're trying to not think about things in order to not feel the discomfort. So when you say you're walking with your head down and
Mm.
you actually not feel confident, if we're looking at this from a third person point of view, do you feel like this would affect how someone talks to other people?
Yes.
Okay. So if we're looking at you again, when you're doing your work, does this actually affect how you do your work and talk to people?
Yes.
Yes. How does that make you feel knowing that this is getting in the way of your work?
Frustrated
Yeah.
because I probably should have done something about it a long time ago.
Right. When you say frustrated, what kind of things are you missing out on, and what kind of things you're not able to give because you're feeling low about yourself?
Mm. Well, I don't know. I suppose that's the thing. Like, I don't know what I don't know because I've always been like this. I don't necessarily know what's on the other side.
Okay. You did say that you go low and then you go high again. So you do understand what it feels like to feel confident, just not for a sustained amount of time.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're not in that state, what are you actually missing out on when you're not able to give the fullest to your people and the people around you?
Um, well, yeah, I guess I'm missing out on like you said, being able to give the fullest. Um, not just for myself, but being able to help the people around me and care for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably missing. Yeah,
When you say it's affecting how you can, it affects how you can take care of the people around you.
Mm.
What does that actually look like? Does it affect how you can take care of your mother and your relationships? What does that look like for you?
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, like I want to be competent and I want to help people around me. So if I can't even help myself, how am I supposed to help them?
You tell me.
Well, I mean that's why I'm on this call, right?
If you were to think about it, if you can't help yourself, then realistically, how can you help other people?
No, it's true.
So, I mean, would you agree if you can't figure out how to help yourself,
Mm.
it makes you less able to help other people?
Yes.
Okay. How
Well,
does that?
I suppose I could help them because I've been helping them.
Hmm.
Um, I just don't know how long that could go on for.
What do you mean by that?
Well, like it's not been terrible, Like I've still been able to do what I've been doing, and you know, like I've got my duties with my mom and my partner and work and all these different things, and
Hmm.
I seem to be making it work. So I guess, yeah.
Okay. When you say you seem to be making it work,
Mm,
you're saying it seems to be working for you, but
mm,
you've also said that you don't feel confident and you don't feel good about yourself.
mm.
So how can two things coexist? You seeming to make things work, but also not feeling good about yourself and feeling proud. Is that your
Yeah,
level of making things work?
I guess my current one, yeah. Like I'm still doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It's just I feel shit some days about it. I
Okay,
feel shit, but I still do it anyway.
okay. And is that a reality that you're willing to accept going forward in life, or do you feel like there's a version of you that actually feels good and proud of yourself all the time,
Mm.
and can also handle all the responsibilities of life?
Yeah, I mean, that probably is. I've just never experienced it, so I don't know what that feels like.
Okay, and knowing that you haven't experienced it and you don't know what it feels like,
Mm.
how does that process in your brain, knowing that you haven't experienced that reality of yourself yet, and that there's things left on the table in terms of your potential?
Um, I mean, on one side, it's annoying, I guess. On the other side, though, it's like I don't know what I'm missing out on. So, you know, like maybe it's not even that good.
I see. I don't fully understand where you're coming from though, because you do say that you have these periods of where you're feeling good and high,
Mm.
right? So if you were to actually set aside 30 minutes a day on
Mm.
those days where you feel low,
Mm.
instead of going from high to low to high to low,
Mm.
you'd be more consistently high, you'd feel consistently better about yourself. So you know what it feels like.
That's
When
true.
you say you don't know what it feels like, you do know what it feels like.
Mm.
You've been there.
Mm.
But the problem you're describing is you can't maintain it. You come down.
Yeah,
So that's the problem.
yeah, yeah. You're right.
Yeah. So knowing that you have this pattern of coming up and then coming down, is this something that you want to change, or do you just want to carry on as you have been doing?
Uh,
Because you've been comfortable for the last 4 years, and lots of
mm.
people have this problem, but they don't want to fix it. So why exactly do you want to fix it now?
Um, well, yeah, like I mean, I just want to be able to perform at my fullest at all times. So
Why?
yeah, I guess I do. Yeah, I want to make a change. Yeah.
Yeah. And performing at your fullest, what would that actually allow you to do?
Um, Well, yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing it goes back to that confidence thing, and it's not just how I feel internally, but also how I can help those around me. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay. If we're looking at this version of Truan who is now consistent and finding 30 minutes a day to work out, and you're feeling proud about yourself, you're feeling good, the blood's flowing.
Mm.
How does that affect you being able to give back to the people around you, be able to serve the people around you, such as your partner and your mother?
Well, I'll be happier in myself, so I'm
Mm.
probably going to be able to communicate better with them.
Yeah.
I'm going to be more motivated to do things and probably have more energy as well. Because I think that
More
the
energy.
biggest thing is just some days I don't have the energy to do anything.
Right.
And I think that's a combination of my mood, and my physical health. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll just be able to do more and, feel better while I'm doing it.
Yeah. When you said you'd have more energy, what would you do with that energy, the extra energy? Is there anything you try different? What else would you do?
Um, Probably work more.
Work more, yeah.
I'd work harder, work more. Yeah, and I just think that the quality of time that I'd have with people would be much better, probably.
When you say probably, is that something that you're certain about again, or do
Well,
you
yeah,
know?
I think it's like you said, right? Because when I'm in a good headspace and I'm feeling good, the quality of time that I have with people is really good. But then the days where I'm feeling shit,
Mm,
just the conversations that I have and the people I interact with, it's not as good, So
of course. So when you do step into this new identity of yourself,
mm,
you're gonna have these higher frequency, higher energy conversations with people.
mm,
Would you agree?
yeah.
And being able to do that with your partner and your mother, who you're taking care of,
Mm.
what would that actually mean to you?
What do you mean? What would it mean?
What would it mean if you're able to actually give more on a more consistent basis in
Mm.
terms of your energy, in terms of how you speak to people? What it mean? What would it mean to your mother and to your partner if you could do that with them?
Oh yeah,
Be
well
more physical with
they'd
them.
appreciate it as well. Yeah, they'd appreciate it massively.
Yeah, and knowing they would appreciate it
Mm.
because they've got a new and improved version of truth.
Yeah.
What does that actually mean to you?
Um. Well, yeah. I mean, it'll make me prouder. You know.
Yeah, 100%. So besides being able to feel confident
Yeah.
and work more, have more energy to spend more quality time with your loved ones,
Yeah.
what else would losing this weight and feeling fit, what else would that allow you to do?
Well, do more physically. Like I'll just be in a healthier condition. I think
Hmm.
the other, at some point I'm probably gonna have kids as well. So
Right.
I don't want my kids thinking dad's fat.
Why not?
Um. I just don't think it's healthy for them
In what way?
physically, mentally.
Yeah. So looking at that,
Mm.
looking ahead, looking at having kids, if you're the same version of you that you've been the last 4 years, how would that actually affect your children if you keep carrying on as you have been doing the last 4 years?
Well, yeah, they'd probably be fat as well.
When you say probably, if you're their father and they're looking up to you, I mean,
Mm.
what is the likelihood that they'd turn out the same? For being honest with ourselves,
Very high.
very high. Is that something that you're willing to settle for now?
No, no, I don't want that.
Okay. Well, if we flip that,
Mm.
so you've stepped into this new version of yourself
Mm.
on a consistent basis. You're making time for the gym, more energy, higher energy when you talk to your loved ones.
Mm.
You're feeling better about yourself. How would that affect your kids moving forward?
They'd be happier. They'd have a better quality of life.
Yeah.
They'll be more confident.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then having a better quality of life, being more confident. What would that mean to you as the father?
It would make me proud. It would make me feel accomplished as a father.
Yeah, 100%. Well, true. And when we look forward at a version of you in 12 months' time,
Mm.
who is making 30 minutes a day to work out, despite what life throws at him, because you know you can.
Yeah.
The version of you who's let go of the mindset of, oh, I'm going to have a high, then I have a low,
Yeah.
but I'll ride it out because maybe I'll be all right. And you're now in the position where you've got a six pack. You don't feel self conscious about your chest, about what you said. You said man tits. You've got more energy to give to people,
Yeah.
and you're now in a position where you can be a role model for your kids moving forward, so they can be better versions of themselves.
Mm.
And to know that you can do that for yourself and for the people around you,
Mm.
what would that moment be worth for you?
I don't know what you mean. Would it be worth?
So to know that you've achieved all of these things,
Mm.
so you've got more energy, you've got a better body, better physique,
Mm.
you can talk to people on a better level, more consistently,
Mm.
and you're in a place where you can be a role model to your kids on how to
Mm.
live and how to stay physically fit, mentally fit.
Yeah.
Knowing that you achieved all of that by yourself, what would that moment be worth to you?
Priceless.
Priceless, 100%. So in terms of actually achieving all these things for
Mm.
yourself and for your family, how long have you really wanted that?
I don't know. It's been in the back of my head. Like I said, I kind of go in and out of this. So, obviously, I think everyone thinks like that. So it's always in the back of my head.
Mm.
But,
Everyone thinks it, but not everybody gets it.
mm.
So if you were to really think about it, how long have you been thinking about achieving these things for yourself? Because they obviously mean something to you. That's why you want them. So how long have you wanted them for?
Well, I guess 4 years. Like
4 years.
that's the whole reason I started going to the gym, because I was having some of these thoughts.
Mm. We're being completely honest with ourselves here. Why is it really not happened yet for you?
Just busy.
We've already clarified that you can set aside 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
So let's have an honest conversation. Like, what's the real reason that's holding you back to getting to where you want to be?
Um, I don't know.
If you to really think about it, because we both know it's not busy, because you know you can set aside 30 minutes a day. You just haven't been doing.
Yeah.
So if you were to really think about it, why is that? Why are you doing that? If you know that if you did, you'd achieve all these things for yourself and for your family. So what's holding you back?
Maybe. Well, I guess it is just that thing of being comfortable, and it's kind of like, I just prioritize other things. I don't prioritize this.
Okay. And knowing that if you don't prioritize these things,
Mm.
if you don't prioritize keeping yourself in check and keeping yourself healthy, you're
Mm.
not going to be able to be a role model for your children.
Mm.
If you do know that, then why haven't you prioritized this yet?
I suppose I've just never thought about it in that way before.
I see. So now that you are thinking about this,
Mm.
tell me what are your thoughts now?
Well, yeah, I mean, 30 minutes a day, like, it's simple, really. Like,
Yeah,
anyone can do that.
they can. Not everybody does though.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, you wanted to achieve this for the last 4 years. What's prevented you from reaching out for expert help?
Just, well, I was going to say busy, but if I'm totally honest, I think it's just, I don't want to admit the problem. If I admit it's a problem, it exists. So,
But it's existed for the last 4 years and it's held you back. If you
yeah.
don't admit it, then how can you ever change it?
Yeah, I guess.
So, I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to keep on carrying life without admitting the problem, but then allowing it to dictate how you move forward, where you can't be the person you want to be for your wife and for your husband and for your kids? Or do you want to admit it and then actually finally take power over it and stop letting it control you?
Yeah, I mean, I need to admit it's a problem and do something about
So you said you don't want to admit it. What actually is the problem?
it. I guess I'm just lazy.
Where does that laziness come from?
Um, I think it is that thing of brushing it under, and I just like I know, like you said, for my kids and stuff, and to be a role model, so I can have a better quality of life. Like I should be doing this. I guess I'm just making excuses because I don't want to admit it.
Okay, so you have just admitted it here today.
Mm.
Yeah. Do you feel like you'll ever get to where you want to be and be the man that you want to be for yourself and for your family if you continue to be lazy and make excuses?
No.
Okay. So how do you think you need to carry yourself moving forward? If it's not being lazy and making excuses, how do you feel like you need to move forward now?
Just, well, I guess don't make excuses and take accountability.
Okay. And is that something that you're willing to do? Or when times get rough, do you feel like you are going to fall back into this pattern of laziness and making excuses?
Um, yeah. Well, no, I need to do something about it because, like you said, it's been 4 years, right? So
Mm.
if I'm not
Okay.
going to do something now, I'm probably never.
Okay. I mean, let's look ahead. Let's look ahead 3 years from now.
Mm,
Right. So you're still operating from this place of laziness and making excuses.
mm.
And that belief in yourself and that mindset continues to hold you back. So how does that affect you and your future if you continue to move down this way?
Well, I'm going to get fatter. I'm going to feel worse. I'm going to feel shit. I'm going to keep making excuses. Quality of time still going to be bad.
When
And
you say
then,
it's still going to be bad,
yeah,
would you actually say it's going to get worse if you're getting fatter?
probably.
Probably. If you were to really be transparent with me, if your energy is going down and you feel worse about yourself, what actually is going to happen to the quality of time?
But yeah, it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And knowing that's what it's going to look like next 3 years if you don't make a change,
Mm.
how is that actually going to affect your wife and your mother?
Well, my mother I'd feel bad for because she's terminally ill, and that's why I'm caring for her. So
Yeah, I'm sorry to
yeah,
hear that. Yeah.
yeah. So really, I should have the best quality of time with her. Um, yeah, and my girlfriend, I guess, maybe we'll argue more, and yeah, it's just not going to be as good as it could be.
Right. When you say you're gonna probably argue more. Are you arguing? Are you arguing every now and again when it comes to right now?
Yeah, I mean, we argue sometimes. Yeah,
Okay. And do you feel like that has anything to do with your mood and being low energy?
probably.
When you say probably, what makes you say that? How does having low mood and low energy actually affect your relationship?
Well, like on the days when I do feel, you know, not confident or I feel crap, I guess I take it out on her. You know,
You guess or you do?
no, I do. Yeah,
Yeah. And knowing that because you haven't handled your own excuses and laziness, you take it out on your girl. Genuinely speaking, now that you've admitted it to yourself, how does that actually make you feel?
bad.
Bad. So if we look ahead 3 years and you've gotten fatter, your energy's gotten worse.
Mm.
You said yourself you're going to be arguing more. Really, what's going to be going on there in 3 years' time?
What do you mean? Sorry.
So in 3 years' time,
Mm.
carry on what you've been doing. You're going to be fatter, lower energy. You're going to be feeling worse about yourself. You said that you're arguing more, but really, what's going to be going on there? Because it sounds like you're just going to be taking out more frustration on your girl rather than there being arguments.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. When you say probably, again, being transparent,
Mm.
is that what's going to happen?
Yes.
Yeah. And knowing that genuinely in your heart, what does that mean to you? Knowing that it's going to get worse for you and your girl, it's going to have a knock-on effect on her. Knowing that you
Yeah,
could have done something.
I don't want to do that. It's not it's my responsibility.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have to deal with that.
Yeah. Why not though? Because she has been doing it the last 4 years.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's right though.
It doesn't, but again, it has been happening the last 4 years. So again, why do you want to change this pattern now?
I've never really thought about it this deeply, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, you haven't managed to change it for the last 4 years. So these these deep thoughts, they're necessary. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, why do you want to change that part of you now, knowing that it's going to get worse for you and your girl next 3 years?
No, I do. I mean, it's just another reason as to why I need to change it, right?
You tell me.
Yeah. No, 100% it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, again, mate, you've got two paths. You've got the path where you carry on, you fall back on laziness and making excuses,
Mm.
and then your energy gets worse. You take out your frustration more on your girl, more arguments, and you know these things are happening because you refuse to take accountability for yourself and for your mood and for your energy. So you know it's on you. That's what the next 3 years looks like if you don't make a change. On the flip side, there's also a new path where you start operating from discipline and self accountability. So you don't make excuses.
Mm.
And you're not lazy. You get what you want. 30 minutes a day, you get what you want.
Mm.
And this version of you is confident, has more love and energy to give to his girl, to his mother, and into his work, and can be a role model for his kids and how they can grow up and create a new pattern of behavior that they'll be able to pass on to their kids.
Mm-hmm.
So again, which one are you choosing here today?
Well, the second one.
Second one. Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the other one sounds pretty terrible, so I don't want to do that.
Yeah. But
yeah.
wouldn't you say that you've been doing the first one for the last 4 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. You've been living in this terrible reality for the last 4 years. So why do you want to lose? Why do you want to choose the second one now?
Because if I don't change anything now, nothing, I'm just going to carry on the same.
Correct. And is that something that you're genuinely willing to settle for and that happen?
No, I don't want to do that. No.
Okay, cool. Well, Trun, when would be the most appropriate time for you to step into this new version of yourself, where when you choose this second path and you stop making excuses, take full accountability for your actions? It may be uncomfortable for you. There'll be internal struggle going on there, but that's part of the process. So when do you think is the most appropriate time for you to step into this new version of yourself?
I don't know. You tell me.
I can't do that for you. You tell me. It could be a week from now, next year. It could be right here today. When's the most appropriate time for you to step into this version of yourself that doesn't make excuses and stops being lazy, and then can finally move towards being that person for yourself, for your partner, and for your kids?
Well, now I guess.
You guys?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay. Well, Trun, based on the conversation that we've had, I know that we can actually support your vision of losing that weight, putting that muscle on, getting a six pack, and actually feeling good and proud about yourself, having more energy to give to the people around you, and actually becoming that role model for you and for your kids. So, would you like me to walk you through exactly how we're going to do that for you?
Of course.
Bingo.
So are you just role playing Discovery?
That's Discovery. We can go straight into objections. Just pretend we've done the pitch.
Okay, so you pitch me, and then
We're ready to get started. If that all sounds good, mate.
Yeah, yeah, we can do it. Yeah. How much is it?
Oh, again, it's going to be £4,000 up front. And then after that,
Okay.
we get you set you up with our coach Greg, get you personalised and get you started.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to. I got to figure some money things out.
Okay, no problem at all. No problem at all. Before you go ahead and do that, just to make sure I've done my job in this article, based off what we've talked about here today, do you feel that we can actually get you to where you want to be, where you are feeling proud and confident in your body, and you've got this energy to give to everybody around you?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, kind of.
Okay. When you say kind of,
Mm.
it sounds like there's a bit of uncertainty there, which is completely fine. Do you feel
Mm.
like there's anything on the course that you feel can't get you to that new place?
No. I
Okay.
suppose. No.
Okay. Okay. So, what about the course specifically do you feel like actually can get you to this new version of yourself?
It's not the course. I guess it's well. I was gonna say I guess it's me, but yeah. I mean, if I did it, then
Okay.
yeah.
What about the course specifically do you feel like will help you the most?
I think probably the accountability. Um, just because, like, as we've said, I guess I make excuses a lot, and having someone who can hold me accountable and call me out on my bullshit is
Yeah.
probably what I need.
When you say probably what you need, again, do you feel like
Mm.
this is actually something that will fix one of your problems and move you towards where you want to be?
Yeah,
Accountability.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's completely fine. When it comes to the money itself, that's again, we're not here to take food off your plate. We're not here to put you in a bad situation. Is it a case that you've got the full investment? It's just a
Mm.
bit scary to invest the full amount, or do you have part of the investment and we just need to figure out how to break this down into a more manageable structure?
No, I mean, I could invest the full amount. I've just, I've never spent this much money before on, like, we only met an hour ago, and I didn't think I was going to be spending 4 grand.
No, no problem at all. I believe you did say you've been following us for a while on Instagram. You're aware of what we do and how we can help
Yeah,
you. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, money aside, money aside, if you had the 4K drop out of the sky right now,
Mm.
would you still go into the course, or would you go on
Oh
holiday
yeah,
to Turkey?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you do that though? Because you still need to invest your time and your energy every single day. You still need to show up every 30 minutes every single day and put the work in. So why would you do that?
Well, I don't understand what you mean.
So if you didn't have to invest the money, you've got the
Mm.
money for free.
Mm.
You'd still need to invest your time and your energy every single day.
Mm.
So why would you do that?
Because it's only me that can change this, you know.
Yeah.
And I know that if I do it, it's going to work. So
Okay. So you said is this the first time that you've had to spend 4,000 up front?
yeah, I mean, I've spent 4 grand on home repairs, but something online with a guy that I literally met an hour ago. It's just, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of money to just spend after one conversation.
I completely understand where you're coming from. I get it. When you say just the guy that you met online an hour ago, again, we did just meet, but I represent the brand, and I respect your time. Hopefully, you respect my time. So hopefully, you did your due diligence before you came on the call. Before taking an hour out of your day,
Mm.
you looked at what we can do for people, looked at our testimonials, you've seen our real results.
Mm.
Hopefully, you did do that, right?
Briefly, yeah.
Briefly. So
Mm.
you do know that we can actually help people and we have a good track record. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on the call.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and then, like you said, this is the first time you spent £4,000 on something to do with your fitness.
Mm.
So there's a bit of
Yeah,
uncertainty there.
first time I've ever spent it on a course or anything online for that matter.
Right, of course, right. So it's something new. So there's that uncertainty there.
Yeah, well, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, completely fine. I mean, if this is your first time doing something like this, I'd be slightly worried if you weren't feeling some kind of uncertainty or some kind of worry. Be like, is this guy a psychopath? Is he taking this seriously? So the fact that you feel this, right, that's completely fine. That's completely normal.
Hmm.
Do you mind if I share this perspective with you?
Of course.
Yeah. So we've worked with thousands of clients. They've also been in the same position you have. A lot of them, they've never invested money in their life and stuff like this. So, and they've also come from a position of they never know if they can make a change, uncertainty. They've been fat their entire lives.
Hmm.
So when it comes to this point of the call, they've also felt this uncertainty and this fear when it comes to investing money up front
Mm.
because it's their first time thing. They've never done it before. However, there's one thing that all the successful clients they have in common. Would you like to know this?
Hit me.
So they understood that uncertainty and fear was normal and that would actually never go away until they actually did the thing they knew they needed to do. So if they went away and they went, okay, I'll think about it, maybe I'll shop around, they knew that they'd constantly just run into the same problem of uncertainty. I've got to
Mm.
actually do it. So the one thing that actually made them successful is they used that uncertainty to actually take that leap of faith and do what they needed to do because they knew if they did do it,
Mm.
they'd actually get to where they wanted to go. And they have. It's enough testimonials. So knowing that, can I challenge you to do the same thing that our successful clients have done and take that leap of faith through that uncertainty?
Mm.
Actually start moving to becoming the man that you know you can be, need to be for yourself, for your partner, and for your future children.
Yeah. What happens if I'm not them though?
In what way do you feel like you're not them?
Well, I don't know. I just mean it might not go as well as it's gone for them.
And what would be the reason why it doesn't go as well? Because like you said, you know that the course can get you to where you want to be. So what's
Mm.
the one thing that could actually derail that?
Well, me.
Yes, you.
Mm.
So if you're feeling uncertain in yourself that you're going to do the work, do you feel like you're ever going to get that from this course or any other course?
No, it's
No,
me.
it's you. Yeah, and if you don't change that,
Mm.
if you do carry on with this feeling of, well, I don't know if I'll actually stick to it and this and that.
Mm.
Again, where are you going to be in 3 years' time?
Same place.
Same place, or would you actually say it's going to be a worse place where you're actually getting fatter, losing
Well, yeah,
energy, getting more
yeah,
arguments,
worse. Yeah.
getting worse? So knowing that, what do you feel like you need to do?
Take a leap of faith.
Okay, so are you ready to actually take that leap of faith?
Yeah.
Okay, shall I send you over the link then and get you started?
Yeah.
Bingo.